that's written loads of books. Yeah. Say you want to be a musician, you go see your musician self. Yeah. Now there is stuff that we're just naturally attuned to. Um, naturally gravitating to it. So it's not like you can say, right, I want to be the world's best gymnast. Like you might just not have the body for that. But the point is, yes, you go out there and you visit your doppelganger version of yourself, okay? Because it's meant to be a doppelganger version for every single whatever reality. So you go and you imagine that, you go see him, you talk to him, and then you step into his body, yeah? You step into your doppelganger version's body and you absorb all that energy, yeah? And then you come back, to planet Earth, and but you've come back with that energy, of that version of yourself that's already achieved everything, so you say, like, this guy, he did it with photography. Like, he's a famous photographer in the sense of he was once taking pictures, and a voice came in his head and it just said, just ground your feet, just stay where you are and just take loads of pictures. And then he took it home and it was like a massive collage, a beautiful collage. But because he stood in one spot, he could stick all the pictures together, and he created a new kind of photography, and that just kind of came to him. Same on the piano, like the way in which to improve the speed, the confidence, by going there, visiting your version of yourself that's already done it. But that's really weird, isn't it? Because that's pretty similar to this super conscious work.
Did I lose you guys?
Nope, still here.
Oh, okay.
That is just like this super conscious work. That's awesome.
Oh, yeah. Totally.
There's a video on YouTube, a 20-minute meditation where you can experience it. I'll put it into the group, man. It is really powerful. And this is what I was doing ages ago, I'd be doing it around music and stuff. And but I'd literally feel it. Like, I literally felt like I was bringing that energy back from that version of myself that's already done it, made the films, written the books, done the performances. It's just, but like sometimes, like the really good stuff, like the body's automatically got like a resistance to it, even though it's really good. It's because it's scared. It knows big changes are coming through it. So it's weird how you just stop doing the things that are really magical. But I'm glad I remembered.
It's that first in the creation, or structural tension, all of that is to be it before you see it, like, meaning have it now, and having it now is by doing that, imagining yourself have it, then all the reasons why you can't pop up, and then you learn to let go of all those reasons, because they're not absolute truths, they're just truths that you put in the way, and it's keeping you from what you want. So you clear them and you take the obvious action. Clear them, take the obvious action. End result. Clear, obvious action. End result. Clear, obvious action. End result. That's the pattern that we're just trying to create, rather than being stuck with those truths that we've made up of why we can't have what we want.
Beautiful. Thank you. Yes, Jester, that's it.
And we got a lot of reason why we can't have what we want.
You do. And it's silly. Yeah, it's silly. And it causes so much pain. So thank you, Joe, for bringing it in. I love it. Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure, man. I think you'd really appreciate the course, man. It's a really good course. Like he just 10 minutes theory talking, then he'll go in and do the exercise, and you just slowly but surely like, wow. But yeah, no, my pleasure, man. Thank you for hearing me, guys, man, and it's a pleasure to share with you.
And that's also like the wisdom process. It's consider. I mean, what Chris calls it the wisdom process, but that's what I use it for. Is like when I'm stuck or anything, it's the same thing, right? Do my best to imagine the end result. Imagine what it would be like. Go out to the future and just notice what I would be doing, what I would be saying, who would be there, what would be the reaction, the responses, and just build of that situation so that, oh, you can test it to see, oh, is that something I would love? Yeah. And then you could look back to the current reality and say, why can't I have this? Or what do I need to know today? And boom, the information just flows in.
Yeah.
Now, we don't always make sense. The information doesn't make sense all the time. We have to be okay with that. Because it's just a download of, yeah, it's just, and we want it to make sense. Our logical brain just works to make so much sense with it, but it's like we can't. We just have to allow the information, because the information begins to unfold as we take the actions. And then when we get there, we can look back and say, oh, that's what it meant, but only after the fact.
Yeah. It doesn't make sense going forward, but in hindsight, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah. In hindsight, it's always magnificent.
And that's the importance of, I don't know, because in the uncertainty, most people get rattled. They get antsy in the unknown and the uncertainty, but that's where all the information, that's where the learning, that's where the experiences are at. And we're just conditioning ourselves to be calm through that. Rather than trying to avoid it. See, the other pattern, the old pattern of our old selves, is trying to avoid and get out of that uncertainty, to get out of that void, to get out of the unknown, and rather than just stepping into the experience.
Yo, Nikki, thank you for stepping into this experience. Welcome.
Hey, thank you. That was awesome. I liked what I heard. Wow. Perfect. Wow. Yeah. Powerful.
Great to have you here, Nikki. It's great to have the female energy in the house.
What can I say? Bringing feminine. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Bye, Judah.
Are you having a nice morning so far, Nikki?
I had amazing. I'm sorry, I'm a little delayed this morning. Yeah, I had an overseas call, and it was very, very interesting, and lots of good conversations, and yeah, it's been great. But I'm glad I can be on now. Glad I can be on.
Wow. Yeah, big up, man. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, Joe is just sharing with us quantum jumping, and how the guy was there, and we were just discussing the structure and how it fits into creating and what we've learned through this.
It's really weird because I got pulled into this work like 10 plus years ago, you know, and just bought the program, did it for a bit and kind of put it to a side, but it really did have an effect on me, you know. It really did expand my awareness and my belief around things and possibilities. And it was bringing shifts before I even know what shifts were, really, which is
How good
magical.
is that? How
Yeah,
good is
mad, eh? And a big part of that is getting into the alpha state. We were talking about like how like when you touch the roof of your mouth, you can like you can get into the alpha state, and then you can anchor that in by putting the tongue to your roof of your mouth, and that will like automatically put you into the alpha, relaxed, calm, non-thinking, more knowing state of being. But that's without, like, say you're out and about and you're in an argument and you want to get into the calm place and you've got to put your hand around your wrist or whatever. Do you know what I mean? It's a bit, it's like, what are you doing with your wrist, man? It's like, well, they can't see you put tongue to the roof of your mouth. And that's like something you've got like in your toolbox that can just instantly, like, and the more you do it, obviously, the stronger that muscle gets, and the quicker we can just tap into that. But yeah, another powerful part of it was, like, you do a meditation, and in this work, he talks about how that you've got a doppelganger in for every single possibility, you know, for every single reality. So you can decide, okay, I want to be a really good pianist, or I really want to be like a next level author. So you'd like imagine that version of yourself that's, or it could be 5 years in the front, it could be 10 years, 20, whatever, and it's like you say, right, I'm gonna go see my version of myself that's already written all those books. Yeah. See, you go into that, you're in that meditative state, you go out, you fly out, yeah, through space, and then all of a sudden you start seeing the version of yourself that's already done it and being it right now. Yeah?
That's
so
right.
You fly over and you go talk to them, and then straight away your their energy is rubbing off on your energy. It's an energetic transfer going down, right? And then you talk to him, ask any questions you've got, and she'll come back with the answers. And then you step into that body, and then you just literally just like, whenever I used to do that back in the day, my body would start twitching and shit, you know? And like, it was literally a quantum jumping download from my own version of myself. And then you come back here and you're like,
wow, yes. So that's the power of the having to know that even when you did it 10, 15 years ago, it hasn't made any difference for the night time that you're here, because that is what it was resonating. That's what you were doing all the time, even now. You're just coming into your awareness of allowing your higher self to receive that in your body, because we have attached ourselves from spirit. This is what superconscious is. It's our higher self. It's literally, we are God in this body, and that is what we've been attached to. This is what's so powerful, connecting. You know?
Woo.
It's what we've always been, and it's just the awakening of awareness of knowing that we can now receive it, but not having to need the permission anymore. The permission has always been because we had that low vibration that we needed to earn it, and all the other things that came with it, the patterns, the sabotage, the society, and you know, this is where I'm very thankful for. Like, I'm so thankful for the detachments. You know, I mean. You know, Craig talked about that a couple of months ago, but the detaching of all the material things. It's not that we don't want it. It's, of course, we need it, but it's the fact that we can know who we are without it. This is profound. This is so profound because, you know, it's like the prophet's son. When he left his house, he took all the money from his father, his heritage, and he went out and he squandered it, and landed up in a pit. And then he realized, oh my God, what am I doing in a pit where my father has mansions? Like, he has so much. And as he came back to his father looked ahead and said, there's my son. You know what I mean? It's like he was lost, but now he's found. And this is the journey that humanly we're experiencing. we just lost our way because we allowed ourselves to get attached to other things that were not from spirit. Does it make sense what I'm saying? Because yeah, I have a
Yeah.
whole different understanding now. I have a whole different understanding, and that's the beauty, you know, of tapping into this. And just like Craig said, like back in the day when he was a child, this was his purpose. This was something he knew as a child already. But now
Yeah.
he gets to really embody it now in knowing that it's coming to intuition. This is the journey. This is the journey. It's the journey. And it's so incredible because you see everything so much different now. You know? Yeah, it's just so much more. So much more.
So good, so good.
Right.
Thank
I
you,
love
Nikki.
it.
You are, yes. Such a different experience, yeah. It's life
Yeah,
is so
it
much
really
different
is.
meaning and full. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Joe, I was also in knowing that when I put my tongue at the top of my mouth and push
I'm
up
doing it
there,
now.
there's something you can't do.
Yes. What?
Talk.
Talk.
That's
So
clever.
then we can listen. Ah.
I can
Oh,
talk
that's
right
so
there.
good. That's brilliant. I love that. Yes. How cool is that?
Yeah, that's a big thing that I've learned. Like, I just used to just talk and just think that I was like really entertaining, but I wasn't. I was just talking like and not like connecting. You know, I was more talking at rather than talking with. And then also I wouldn't know when to stop. Like now I can catch myself and it's like, right, stop now after that sentence. Sure.
I was the same. I'm the same, Joe. I was the same. I mean, the only thing of why is because it was a need. It was a need to be able to do that. It wasn't. It's nothing to say, oh, you should have been something or you should have not been that. It's just a need, and that need was needed. And so now, you know, it was yeah. It's important, and it's skill stacking. You know, we learn these things by going through the experiences. Because in life, how do you know if you haven't experienced it? You know, I can only share something if somebody understands what I've gone through. Yeah, I can't go through that experience. I can imagine, but when you can experience somebody's pain, then and acknowledge that, then you can say, then that person understands too. So it's just experiencing what you needed to experience at the time. You know, yeah, and then I think it's I have, you know, I can resonate with that, and I also can stop myself. I do stop myself now.
There are people that are uncomfortable with the silence, and so they talk. And then there are people that are uncomfortable with people talking.
Oh, that's so good. That is so good. That is so good. Because it is uncomfortable. It is uncomfortable. And that's where uncomfortable has to be comfortable. You've got
I
to put
think
yourself in positions to be uncomfortable.
I think what it came for me was when I'm like trying to talk and talk, it's like I was trying to be understood, but the more I said, the less I was understood. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, you were misunderstood. Yes. Isn't that
It's like you want to get it.
interesting?
You've got so much to say as well, which obviously dilutes what you're saying. You know, rather than just talking slowly, it kind of felt like I was trying to explain things, get them to understand it, but then also do it in like a 2-minute window. Where it's now, it's like it's not my job for you to understand. You know.
Oh, praise God for that. Thank God. Isn't that beautiful?
Mhm.
Isn't that like, isn't that just gives you like that
Release the pressure.
that space to be you now?
Yeah, yeah.
Isn't that just amazing that you can just be you? Because people are going to misunderstand you no matter what you do.
Yeah.
But it's that space that you give yourself to just say, you know what? Yeah. Even if I have missed the mark, who cares? Who really cares? Even if I made a mistake, who cares? Even if I fail, who cares? Even if I step out and I make a fool out of myself, who cares? Honestly, it's just you. Your perception, what you think, what others think of you. People really don't care. They go maybe look and make a joke and then they move on. You know, they forget.
Oh yeah, they're so busy listening to their self-talk of being
They're
afraid.
listening to
Yeah,
themselves
yeah.
talking.
The only thing they care about is that you're different,
True. Yeah, that's true.
because they want to find other people that validate the way they've chosen to be.
Mm.
Yeah.
And when you're different, you can't validate that for them.
Yeah. You misunderstood also. Mm.
Yeah. Yeah.
You misunderstood. You get completely rejected. You are outcast. And that's when I realized I must be doing something right.
That's right. Yeah, because it's
I
out of the
must
normal,
be doing
right?
something right because that's my life. That has been my whole
It's the
life.
only thing that we
Now
become aware of.
Yeah,
It is,
yeah.
Yeah.
it's
There's
the only thing we
contempt.
pay attention to is when it's different.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
there's contempt. There's contempt for anyone, toward anyone who has the courage to be different.
Oh my God, courage. Very
Right.
good. I love that word, courage. That's my word for the day, by the way. It's courage. Courage.
Oh, yeah.
Because I realize that the courage is something, even if I'm going to be fearful, I'm going to do it with courage. Because I'm never going to be ready. I'm never going to be ready. I realize that I'm never going to be ready. It's never going to finish. So I'm just going to take the courage to step out and say, you know what? I'll do it with fear now. I'm doing everything with fear.
It reminds me of a story where it was talking about how we want everything to be perfect before we
Oh
set
my
off.
God. Yeah.
It's like you being in New York and deciding you want to go to Florida, but you don't want there to be any traffic jams, any traffic lights, any accidents. Do you know what I mean? But it's like,
Yeah.
no, you just go as far as you can see, and then you'll see a bit further. You know,
Wow.
we've got everything we need to do everything we want to do. You know what I mean? But it's just that pattern in our head. It's like, oh no, get this, do that, then you can do it. Get this, do that. You know, over time delaying it from now.
Wow, it's beautiful, hey? I love it. Good energy, guys. Good energy. Yeah. Oh, feeling it.
Yeah, I'm feeling a really, really fresh, renewed.
Yeah, I feel very, yeah, thank you. Yeah, sorry.
I feel the energy feels very clear and light.
Oh, I feel it too. It's instant. It's like this is
The vortex.
yeah,
Yeah.
this is the conversations that, you know, and the presence of gathering. I love that, gathering and then go and scatter. I just love these two words that Jess has brought to my attention. And I bring it into my awareness every day with gathering. Like, what am I gathering? What are my thoughts? Who am I spending it? Who do I want to spend it with? And then I just gather it. Not even needing to speak, just being. It's just amazing. I don't need to be anything or anyone, just me. I'm celebrating that big time.
But we've also created an environment here where we honor
Yeah.
each other's unique creative genius,
Oh, I love that. Oh, I love that. Yes.
and that we honor the diversity of it. We honor that we're different, that we're not
Oh
that
my
we're not
God.
the same as each other.
Yes, sir. Yes,
And
sir.
you know, where on the planet can you find an environment like that?
But we're creating it as
We
we're doing it
created it.
now. We're doing it
Exactly.
right now because we are doing it as a collective, knowing that what we're doing and gathering and scattering is for everybody. We are shifting the whole planet right now. This is the power of energetically, energy. We're energy. This is when we meditate. We meditate into everything. That's meditating to all and everyone. From above to below, from below, from above. We're doing this for everyone. This is what's so powerful. And this is why you think, oh, you got to be standing on some stage. No, you don't. You changing you is changing the collective right now. This is what we're doing. This is the power of this moment.
Let me just tell you another little story. They had a massive meditational group, okay? And they measured the serotonin before and after, okay? And the increase in serotonin makes us calm, relax, and all that, yeah? So they did that with the people doing the meditation, and the serotonin skyrocketed. But then they also did the same test with people that were around in the same vicinity, but not meditating, and their serotonin rose as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good feeling. It's a good feeling. It's good.
That's that energy, like you say, you don't need to be on a stage. I mean, like right now, throughout all space and time, throughout all of infinite consciousness, it's rippling out. This vortex field we've got going on, like not even just singularly in one point, but around the world, yeah? And it's like a tornado, and it's just swirling. And the more focus on it, it's like, and people will just be instantaneously, ideally, getting hit with like waves of joy and peace.
Yeah,
and
this is it, man. This is it.
People are going to be getting his thoughts. People are going to be getting his thoughts right now, like, oh yeah, it doesn't matter actually. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, I just love that. You know, I love that because it brings me to a little girl where I always just wanted everyone to be happy, you know, just wanted everyone to be happy. Because internally I was happy, you know, even if my circumstances were not. But I really felt that, you know, and to be able to be around knowing that this is what right now, what we're having brings a lot of happiness to me. I can it's so familiar now. So even if I'm experiencing it now as an adult with you, everybody in this call, I experienced it as a little girl. Do you follow? So there's no time and space. This is what it's always been. But I get to just be it now in a way that I can express it. Do you follow? I can now articulate. I can understand what I'm experiencing from my highest self, not my lowest, not my egoic, but from my superconscious, from my highest self. You follow? Yeah. So this is when people get to understand this, they will be able just to operate with pure, because what's happening right now, people are suffering. Okay. People are really suffering right now. They're going through a very hard time. And why I say that from South African point of view, I mean, they got load shedding. I'm just giving an example. It's like a beautiful country, but they're going through some really bad times. And when I realized that when we can get out of our egoic, lower vibration of separation, of thinking black, white, whatever culture, Jew, Christian, Catholic, or whatever you want to call yourself, when we can know that that is such a low vibration, when we get to understand the higher self, we will all be able to accept each other. We will all be seeing each other equally.
Yes.
Well, it's changing, but this is what's the big movement now is happening. As we
Yes.
spoke about yesterday, the darkness is leaving, but it's fighting. It's fighting big time now. But that's when we got to stand hold into our hearts and ground ourselves and do the work. We do the work. I myself do the work. Because that's what makes the difference, that's really makes a difference. The meditation, when you meditate, you're meditating for others that need that joy, the hope, the love, the encouragement. And that's
Is that
what.
why Buddhists and monks just meditate all day? That's their intention, isn't it, to be doing that?
Yeah, but we don't
So-
need to be. Yeah, I guess. But
We
this
don't need
is
to go down-
a life is a meditation. Life, when you're in your heart, you meditate. When you're in your heart and having to know that you can be in a meditation state your whole day in a way, because it's just the awareness of what you're bringing and what you're allowing and how you're treating others.
Yeah.
That's it. Because it's not sitting in church, hallelujah, praise God, blah, 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 and sitting in a monk in a mosque or blah, 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 blah. No. Your whole life is a meditation. And that I wanted to share because I had this thing where we live in a perception of ourselves. So hear this, because this was very interesting. I am not who you think I am. I am not who I think I am. I am who I think you think I am. So you know what? If we think someone thinks we're smart, we'll be smart. If somebody thinks you're stupid, you'll be stupid. How powerful is that? How powerful is that? Yes.
Well, that reminds me of a story I heard. I'm a story man today. About Jesus when he used to go around healing. And when he went to a place where everybody already knew him, like as the previous identity, none of his miracle healings would work, and that's because of their perception of him. Do you know? They didn't have a blank sheet. They had preconceived ideas about him. That's not Jesus. That's just Joseph or whatever. Do you know what I mean? And
yes.
so, yeah, but that's it.
I can't help to think about when you say that, because it's beautiful. The stories in the Bible bring so much reality of what we're experiencing now. The woman with the blood, the issue of blood, when she was in the crowd and she wanted to come to Jesus, if you want to put it like this, and she touched his robe, just the edge of his robe. She, and it was a crowd, yeah. And Jesus stopped and said, "Who touched me?" And she said, "It's me, Lord. It's me. I just thought if I could just touch the edge of your robe, yeah, the little bit of your robe, I would be healed." And he turned around and said, and then with the miracle when the miracle happened, he says, "It's your faith. It's your faith that's healed you.
Oh,
It's your faith that healed you. It's not me, it's you that healed you because you had faith." Same in the boat when the storm, and Peter said, the disciples was really like feared for their lives and said, "Jesus, wake up, Lord, wake up. We're going to drown. We're going to get kicked." And he said,
we perish.
"Little faith, little faith, little faith." So this is just very powerful to understand and to be able to, to live it through and to know that, we have that power. It's not egoic power. It's not arrogant power. It's not pushy power. It's not overbearing power. It's just power of a living, breathing. That's you.
There's a song Isla sings from school and it goes, I got the power in me. You got the power in you. We got the power, power, baby.
Yeah. Yeah.
So to follow courage,
Yes.
I'm going to follow with peaceful power.
Oh, Jesus, thank you. My God. That's beautiful.
It takes courage to find and be peaceful power.
That's what it is. That's that drop it in the ocean. There's it.
You just described masculine energy for me, Jesse.
What do you mean masculine energy? What does that mean? What do you mean?
Masculine energy. It's that's true. That's true to the divine masculine, if you want to put it that way.
Why does it have to be masculine? Just questioning.
It doesn't have to be masculine. I just said that's the thing is maleness and male energy is something that's gravely misunderstood by our society today.
Yeah, but we're not
We've
male
grown
or
up.
female.
We've grown up with it. We've grown up with it meaning forcefulness. And aggression.
Okay. Yeah.
But peaceful power sounds very masculine to me, but it sounds very true as well. It's powerful in a power, like extreme power, in a very peaceful way.
I hear that. But I also, if you don't mind me saying that the masculine, as you were speaking, and the forcefulness and the aggression, I understand because of what the egoic agenda, the low self had to survive. But when you come into the spiritual world, there's no masculine and feminine, because Jesse's just as feminine as he's masculine, because he's coming in. Because the feminine is the one that is the one that rests, the one that surrenders, the one that brings harmony and the feminine energy is actually the one that you can sleep, as you spoke about yesterday. You can rest. The masculine is the action, is go, 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 go. And this is what we have both. So I understand when you say internally what Jesse's gone through in his life, because that's basically he's bringing peace to that, that he doesn't need the force. He doesn't need to bring any aggression. He doesn't need to bring any kind of, in a sense of what was expected from him. And this is what I have noticed and what I have felt very comforting and very, very helpful, that I can witness a man being touched with his heart, but also very, very profoundly gentle and wow, it speaks volumes. It doesn't need to even speak, and it doesn't speak, it actually listens. And that's also another witness that I've witnessed that has brought me into my understanding that I can embrace my feminine, because this is very powerful, because this is what brings a man and a woman that unites in a way that they can bounce off each other. That there's no need for anyone to be in their masculine or their feminine, because if it's just entwined in being. Because you mentioned, Craig, that you were in touch with your feminine side.
Yeah.
And you needed to be in that understanding, because that is a beautiful vision, like understanding.
Well, humans today find it very difficult
Yeah, they do.
to embrace their opposite. So females find it very hard today to embrace their masculine energy. And men find it extremely difficult to embrace their feminine energy.
What I love about what you're saying, what I really love what you're saying, because coming back to Jesse, if you don't mind me mentioning that, Jesse now, but that is actually who he's always been,
Yes.
is that he's always been
It's true nature.
sensitive, the compassionate, driven, purpose, laughter, optimistic, creator, just a provider, and and because this is where the feminine, we're talking feminine, masculine is allowing to say that is who the nature is, and I think in coming into this world, we came in with both, but we're told this is what masculine is, and this is what feminine is, and this is the roles that we have to play. And the roles are starting to turn now a little bit, because the feminine has to be masculine because she has to work. She has to work. She's also a provider, right? She also has to bring money home. Yeah. She has to also look after the home and the kids and all that. She has to be actually everything, basically. And the masculine is still in his masculine because he's still asking to be served. Yeah. He's asking.
But that isn't what I mean by that. Isn't what
No,
we're
but I'm just talking in general. But I'm just talking in my experience now. It's just my experience.
That's the world's interpretation of it. And what I'm saying is that the world's interpretation, there's a line drawn between what constitutes male and what constitutes female, and the world is wrong completely.
Totally. I agree with that. Because we've been in our head. We've been logically trying to figure it out in our head. And the head doesn't get us anywhere. It's going back into your heart. Because that's the heart, is the true core of your soul. And your soul is actually, it's been done. It's finished. There's nothing to complete. There's nothing to fix. There's nothing to tell somebody else that you must do it like this and you must do it like that. That's what we're learning now to unfold. And that's when we rise to spirit and rise into superconscious. We look at each other with pure love, with pure acceptance, with all our flaws, not just everything that's right, that you think is right, everything that's wrong. That is what you need to allow to let others feel. Because we're all imperfect. There's no one perfect. But it's when you don't accept the other person for their flaws and you're not willing to have and give them the space to work it through. Because we're all working through, just trying to figure things out as we go along to feel loved, That's the journey. going back to you, loving you, that you can love me. Because you cannot love me if you do not love yourself. There will be no judgment there. Just love.
Yeah, when there's no such thing as a flaw
Amen.
or a weakness.
Amen.
Those are all just made up.
Amen. But I also love,
Failure is a concept that was made up. That's not true.
but I also love
There's
your
no
version.
such thing.
Yeah, but I love your version about when you shared about when we weak, God is our strength, right? So in our weakness, he strengthens us, right?
Well, it appears like it's interpreted as weakness, but it's not.
But okay. But when we do feel defeated, and that does happen, and when we do feel like we are losers and we are not good for nothing, because that's what people feel, that's what people go through emotionally.
That's an interpretation.
Yeah, but you got to also realize that people have to be able to know where you can meet them where they are.
Yep.
This is why people that are walking the spiritual realm and think that they know it, and they can look down at somebody and say, oh, get your act together. No, that's not compassion. That's not leveling up to somebody to meeting them where they need to be. Because if I had people in my life that told me, oh, level up, do this, do that, because I did, the pressure of that, created a lot of anxiety, a lot of anxiousness, never measuring up, never good enough. But when that pressure goes off you, just like you said, we celebrate each other's uniqueness, genius. That's when you can rise above and say, wow, I got this. I can do this. I can be whatever I'm choosing now to be, no matter, that's the environment, the space, the experience, what people need to feel. This is an example right here, right now. We can disagree with agreeing. We can say, hey, let's have a conversation and not hold a grudge.
It brings back the story of the woman and Jesus.
Mm.
And that is,
Woman.
it is equal.
Yeah.
She didn't believe so.
Yeah.
And she wasn't the only one touching him in that crowded space.
Of course, yeah. Mm.
And we do our structure. The world is structured. I'm a male and there are females.
Yes.
There also doesn't need to be a division. We are being humans.
Amen. That's it. That's it. That's it. Because this is what is so important for a masculine, a male, to touch into that feminine that is so profound. Because if you really want to get into having a relationship that is hormonal and loving and caring and being heard, is to go into your heart and to allow that person to know that when you are vulnerable and needing to know that you can speak just because from your heart, that is to me, that's masculine. That's masculine for me.
But
say, you know what,
wholeness,
when I mess up, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I messed up, I was wrong. I shouldn't have done that.
wholeness is a realization of both.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That you are both.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
in our language.
That they're both opposites and they're complementary.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
And that creates a whole.
Yes.
Yes.
I love that. Thank you, Craig. That's beautiful.
So there's no messing up. There's no
thank-
such thing.
Yeah.
There is a thing that we believe it or expect
Right.
it, or there is that perception of ourselves.
Yeah. Do we believe our misinterpretation or not?
And that's why I chose peacefully powerful, is because
Yeah.
I left most of my adult career left out the peaceful.
Yeah.
And it was a dominating power that I thought was needed. That was how I could get what I wanted. It's just a structure I was taught and learned and tried to live into that was painful and sad and empty.
Yeah. Realizing that the trying to live into it was the painful part.
That's right. Yeah, the expectation was the painful part.
Right. Because it's counter to your true nature.
That's right. Or deceptive
That's why it's painful.
perception.
Yeah.
That's right. It was the lesson, right? It was like, oh, you got to learn that lesson. Now keep learning that lesson. Keep learning it. Keep trying it. Keep trying it. You can try it all you want. The same result will happen.
Right. Because it's not true.
That's right. I love that, Joe. Perception, deception.
Yeah. Perception, deception. Whoa.
Yeah.
How powerful, huh? Whew. Very powerful. Thank you.
Yeah, David Icke wrote a book called that, The Perception Deception.
It's beautiful.
Do you have a word for today, Joe?
Relief. That feeling when you find something that you've lost. Oh, that feeling when you realise you've been caught in the pattern of overthinking. Oh, you can let it.
You drop that anchor, that burden just slides off, and it's like just that relief. Yes.
Yeah, it's beautiful, eh? Wow.
And realizing you can choose that, because that's a realization I had recently as well, when I lost my microphone and my lead, and the joke was as well, just to make it's not even my microphone, you know, and it's a pretty expensive microphone, but I just ended up just having that feeling, because, you know, as soon as you find it, it's like you get that feeling. So I thought, well, I'll just have that feeling first. So
Wow.
I was like, I found it. Anyway, my mum found it in a box like about a week later, and I was like, what? Let go and let God.
Amen. That's it.
Quantum jumping. That was quantum jumping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a real thing, hey?
Yeah, I mean, Chris talks about it. I'm sure he even shows that example of that energy where it literally, if you imagine a circle and a bigger circle and a bigger circle, like there's experiments where they've seen the energy shift. And that's why it's called a quantum jump, because it doesn't just move, it jumps.
Yeah. Fibonacci.
I still get blown away by like how amazing the field is when you focus on something and then the things just coming in such mysterious ways. It still
Very
baffles me. It's like so extremely powerful and it's underrated because it's
Yeah.
like the real simple stuff, you know,
Yes. Yeah.
stuff that's right in front of his face. I don't
Yes.
appreciate that. Wow.
Well, I
You know,
appreciate
you
everybody.
can't charge if it's that simple. You can't charge when it's that simple.
Yeah, well, the charges always find a way. Don't worry about that. The charges always come in somehow.
Exactly. And it's quantum a perceptual shift. That's also what we're doing. We're just shifting. We're seeing. That's what creators do. Is they see new perceptions. I'm
That's it.
limited with that, and it's like, oh, that's a limitation. I go out of it. I step
Yes.
around it, and it's like when we do that, it all opens up.
Yeah. It's yeah.
Releasing, relieving that attachment.
Oh, come on now. There's it.
And that takes courage.
Yeah.
That's why it's so important to have that concept, to have that vision, rather than being attached to our past visions, past switching that structure, and building that vivid clarity. The more we can see it and feel it and be in it, but it's like what I'm starting to realize is sometimes I've not been able to get into that because it's not actually really what I truly wanted. Ooh, shake.
Yes.
All of us want the more, but we're not really willing to detach from the old in order to get it.
That's true.
In order to receive it.
Amen to that.
I mean, and that's the big internal conflict.
Yep.
Because we've grown dependent on the illusion.
And not feeling worthy enough, not deserving enough. Because that's one form of thousands. Yes. But that's how powerful when Joe says that he visualizes and feels it, embodies it, and pictures it. That is actually, that's quantum jumping, because the mind is actually saying that's what you actually want. I'm going to give it to you. The mind only hears what you tell it. That's how powerful you are. That's why actions are so important, because the unconscious will say yes to it. It says yes to everything. The unconscious has no discernment. So whatever you say yes to, it's going to say yes. Whatever you say no to, it's going to say no.
Yeah, but everybody's mechanics are different around that.
Yes, everyone has a certain orientation that they tend to be safe into. And it's their words that matter. It's their words that they're telling it, and it's comes down to their unique structure.
Yeah, so everybody's specifics around that are different.
Mm-hmm. The fundamental is what do I want? Why can't I have it?
Exactly.
Remove it and go on.
That's it.
Until you run into the next reason you can't have
My
it.
words.
Yeah.
That's right. That's exactly.
And what's funny is they keep showing up, right?
All the time.
Yeah.
Those reasons keep showing up. Yeah, because there's thousands of them.
Yeah, it's not going to stop.
Yeah.
But we're trying to change our thinking, but it's not our thinking that we need to change, it's our behavior. Because when you behave,
neither one.
Act on the behavior,
Neither
that's
one.
when your thoughts start moving forwards. because you're telling your unconscious this is who you are. See, this is when you get into a new identity. We're all trying
Maybe
to
that's
get
true for
a
you,
new
Nikki.
version of ourselves.
Maybe that's true for you, but it's not true for me.
I didn't say it was true. I'm verbalizing. I'm sharing. You do not have to agree. I'm sharing. This is my share.
You know, when you said though that it doesn't stop, yeah. Like the thing when I learned about the Callahan technique, about when we get triggered and that resistance comes to stop us from taking action. The fire with that tapping technique is that it if you imagine it like a tree, like when one resistance comes up, it's like the roots, it's like some of them, but like eventually, like once you keep doing it and the triggers come up and the charges come up and you release them with love, yeah. I mean, and you do the taps on your meridian lines.
Yes,
Eventually, yeah, those trigger points do actually go. You know,
absolutely.
that's
so
the
good.
mission. You know what I mean? To be
Thank you,
triggerless
Joe.
by
Thank
the
you,
external
Joe.
world. Just to be in an inner state, inner bliss, no matter
That's
what.
it.
That's when you're there, man. That's when you're on it. Hypnotic, bubonic, chronic, you got it. It's inside of you.
You're changing your DNA just like that. Just like that. That's why it's so powerful. With all the models of the recode and the perception shift and all that we do, it's all basically just giving up our whole DNA, a whole new structure of saying this is this way, this path, let's go.
Yes.
It's gentle. Yes, and. Yes, and. Let's go. Yes, and.
What's next?
What's next?
This is it. This is the secret, man. This is the secret they took out of Think and Grow Rich. You can upgrade your DNA and your genetics with your thinking. What thoughts are you thinking?
Absolute.
The power of focus 4. Yeah, this is another thing they took out. Focus 4. Yeah.
I can't hear you. We can't hear you. There's a lot of racket. Can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Okay, now we can hear you.
Yeah. The focus. Another part they took out of Think and Grow Rich, right, was that like when you focus on something in your mind, that is equivalent to like thousands of hours of physically doing it.
Okay, now I'm starting to love you like big time. This is it.
That's why Henry Ford took it out, because if his workers figured that out, they wouldn't be doing the physical labor, so he had to get that information took out, because when you see the numbers of the Focus 4 compared to actually the physical activity, it's absolutely monumentally ridiculous. Yeah.
Oh, come on.
It's not work hard and grow rich. It's think and grow rich. It's feel and grow rich. And I love you.
Oh my God. Thank you.
The same guy that said, "Why do I have to deal with a whole human when all I want is a good pair of hands?"
Exactly. Yes.
Oh. Now you
bet your ass.
I want somebody that's brainless.
Yep.
To do all my dirty work for me.
And right now we're living with the consequences of that, right? It didn't pan out. It did for Henry Ford.
Yeah.
But then also on the flip side, remember when they tried to take him to court because someone was saying that he was like basically a buffoon or whatever, and he took him to court and he said, "Look, I don't need to know every fact about this," because they were trying to ask him about the war and how many people died and stuff. He's like, "I don't need to know this trivial data. If I want to get any of this, I've got people around me. You know what I mean? I've got the mastermind around me. I can ask this person, that person that's an expert. My mind isn't for holding facts. You know what I mean? It's for idea generation." Ooh. But that's it. Henry Ford, they didn't want this out. But that's why Andrew Carnegie, bless his soul, he knew, do you know what I mean, that this wanted to be out, especially to people that had an interest in it, because he didn't feel it was fair to be just kept to the elite. He wanted it to be shared, and that's why Napoleon Hill was a blessing, because when he went for the first interview, which was just a one-off interview, Andrew Carnegie gave him a bit of a riddle, and Napoleon Hill grasped it. So he was like, "You'll come back tomorrow." And from that, he was commissioned for 25 years and introduced by Andrew Carnegie to all of the richest, most successful people to try and like, share that with others, and it used to frighten Napoleon Hill when people grasped this, how money just used to flow in, right? It used to scare him, but then he eventually realized that it doesn't matter. He can go around, do talks and do books. It's only about 2-3%, if that actually ever take the action needed. Boom.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. Good stuff. Good.
I'm going to pull out the stats, yeah? I'm going to pull out the stats because it says, that's when I mentioned a long time ago about 68 seconds. When you focus on something for 68 seconds,
That's right.
it's like equivalent to thousands of hours of physically going out and doing that, okay?
Oh, so
Then
good.
obviously the more you increase that time from like 1 minute to 2 minutes to it just blows up, like exponentially.
I love this. So
It's the
true.
power.
So good.
Combined with
Wow.
the heart.
This is it. Yeah. Yes. Yes.
That's how Einstein came up with E equals mc squared.
I want to tell you, it's got nothing to do with your education. It's got nothing to do with your
Nope.
intellectual.
Nope.
It's got nothing to do with anything but your focus. Focus on the end result. That's all needs to be. Focus on the end result. Don't know how you're going to do it. Don't know how you're going to do it. Just focus on the end result and take the obvious action. That's it. That's it. Focus is key. That's it.
Thank you, exactly, and that's it. And that's
I'm
where
telling you. I'm
stuck.
telling
I
you.
used to get stuck on the how all the time until I
Me
got it killed
too.
in my head. I got it killed
Me
in my head.
too.
Focusing on the how will almost
Oh my
guarantee
God.
failure. Focusing on the how will almost guarantee you failure. Our focus is
Failure.
the what. The what do we
Yes.
want? Feel that, be that. Woo!
Woo! It's like a roller coaster. It's true. And it's just like this is where everything like lands for you when you want to know, like, how you're going to do it. You're going to know where you're focusing, where you're putting your power. I mean, we all heard this. We hear it over and over and over. Where you putting your power? What's the intention? Where's you putting your attention? Where's the power? Where you putting your power? I mean, boom, it just puts you in the present moment of saying, I got that now. Focus, because you can't change your beliefs. You can't change your beliefs. This is when it's a fixed more intent. This is when we want to fix ourselves because something's wrong with you. But when you stay focused, that's the key.
Rather than
You can change. I'm telling you.
When you come up with a method or a modality or a process, you're on the wrong track. You've missed it.
We all do. I think we all have our creative.
We're trained to do
process.
that. We're trained to create a pattern.
Yeah, I think humans just want to work things out. That's
Too. That's part of it.
Yeah, we're just trying to work things out because it's a lot of information coming. I mean, there's 400 billion bytes a second we're getting through, and we're only using 2,000. So can you imagine? Can you imagine what we are exposed to? So let's give ourselves some credit here and let's get the pressure off and just being and staying focused on what we're choosing. Because you can call it any way you want. You can do all the models. You can do all the brain hacking you want, intellectual words, get all intellectual and show how educated and everything you are. But in the end of the day, it's very simple. You are light. You came here as light, as pure spirit, having a human experience. And we're just finding ourselves back to that light that you've always been. And when you get enlightened and having awareness, then we can be able to have heaven on earth. But unfortunately, there's the darkness. And that darkness can be us in our thoughts, in our behaviors, and how we treat people. Because
And even more than that, in how we
right,
think.
yeah. The judgment, the separation, the accusing, the assumptions. Have you ever allowed yourself be angry with somebody and that person doesn't even know why you're angry with them? My God. Because they assume something that you did that you didn't do. I'm just giving a human experience here, you know, and you're walking around thinking this person's okay with you, but they're not okay with you. And I can read it even in a text now. When somebody texts me, I can read it to a text knowing there's a hidden agenda here. They're not being open. They're not being honest. They're having some sort of blockage that they can't express. And I now understand it's nothing personal, that I can just articulate and then say, okay. And give the same energy of allowing them to know that they can see what they're bringing to my table and letting them know that I'm not feeding on that anymore. So that is something you need to reflect with you. And then we just wait, because it's not for you to tell people what to do. It's for them to know what they need to do in that moment. Nothing forceful, you know. It's a beautiful privilege to give somebody that space that they can figure it out. Let them figure it out. It's a beautiful space to give.
I think if I got a message like that and it'd be making me think something like that, do you know, like they might be hiding something from me. That could just be something in me, you know, that's coming up, like something I was unaware of, and you can see it as unfortunate, but really it's a blessing, because it's just come up to be cleaned and to be let go of, not to be relived and recycled, but to be brought to the surface, to be released.
But in relationships, everything's a reflection of you. That's true. And we're talking about intimate relationship. They mirror you. And that's when you can look and go, okay, what do I need to know here? What do I need to learn? But you have to understand, we still got the egoic agenda. That's not going to go. We still have the ego. And that ego is to keep us safe. It is a job that it's given us. So we can't deny that part of us. And this is where a lot of people deny the ego. The ego is actually part of you. And if you don't accept it and you don't get to love it for who it is and what role it plays, then you're going to sabotage yourself. But in that perspective of looking within and saying, what do I need to learn from this, is a very humble experience, because that is spirit allowing you to rise above. So yes, it's either other. It's not all got to do with the reflection of what you're experiencing. We all have our own experiences. That's the individuality of allowing somebody to be themselves. You can't expect me to believe or have experience, and you must experience me, and I must experience, we have different experiences. We're all having different experiences right now on this call. We can't, you know what I mean? It's just a reflection of bouncing off each other's ideas and stories that we're telling each other, right?
I agree, Joe. The shortcut is when I say it's my resistance.
Yes.
It's that is the shortcut.
Yeah, it just reminds me of this book I'm reading, and Wayne Dyer saying it's never between you and anyone else. It's always between you and God.
Yes.
So there are no others. It's just a cosmic
Which
game.
is your ego in your heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same as the you and God. It's the ego in your heart.
Mm.
The who is informed by your gut,
Mm.
which is the feeling. So the thoughts, our head, our logical, rational brain, the ego, our stomach, our digestive, our guts is the feeling, the unconscious, as best I can tell, the tape recorder that'll just keep playing what you keep telling it, informing it. And then the heart, which is the true nature, the source, the God, the truth.
Oh, beautiful. Wow, that sums it up. That's it. Oh my God, that's beautiful. That's it. That's it. Wow, that's very, yeah.
And everything out there is just a reflection of that. And of
Oh,
course,
God.
that's my experience with it anyway.
No, that is really wow. That's it. Yeah.
Craig, Pascal, you guys got a word for
Yeah,
us today?
Pascal, very quiet. Pascal,
They're just bathing in it.
please.
Yeah,
The word less
my
travel.
word today is my word today is that's funny. I keep flipping back and forth between two, so I'll give you both. Perception was the one that came front, but also perspective.
Oh,
Mm.
yeah. Yeah, that's it. Eh?
The difference
Perception,
it does is
perception, and perspective. Yeah. They kind of have equal weight for me right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear that, Craig. It's very good insight. Beautiful. Really beautiful. Wow.
Yeah, Nikki, I was quite quiet because they switched my
Maybe.
truck this morning, and
Uh-oh.
it's just an older truck, so it's really loud. So
Oh,
I was on mute for most of the time, but yeah, I'll share my word of the day is space.
mm.
And I was watching I think it's a podcast yesterday, and then like this quote like kind of shocked my being. And although inside of me I knew, I just wasn't practicing it.
Ah.
So in terms of space, and you were saying like when you want to create friendship, you give them space.
Yes.
You gave them time to react.
Mm.
And when you want to create enemy, you steal space.
Yeah.
And you don't give them time to react.
Yes.
And like you can bring this like to so many different forms, like even just an argument of talking, or like fighting, and actual like fight. And it just resonates so much to me. Like I was just like, and even like when I'm on the phone with someone, am I trying to create like enemy, or I'm building friendship? Am I, when I'm like talking to them, am I like leaving them time to think about what I'm saying and like time to react, or I'm just like going on and on and on and on and on and on with my thoughts? So yeah.
Wow, profound.
Yeah,
Profound.
it's huge for me. So
Wow, that's so beautiful. Wow. You brought that home. But Pascal, can I ask what was the podcast?
Oh, it was with Lewis Howe. It was
Who?
about like Lewis Howe's.
Yes. Lewis House.
Yeah,
Lewis Hayes.
yeah, yeah.
Lewis House,
Old
yeah.
House.
Lewis
House.
Hayes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And yeah, it was Master Shailin or something. I can post it in the
Will
in
you
the
post it?
community.
Thank you.
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
kind of you.
But yeah, it was really profound, like podcast for sure. So I don't know, something I really resonate. Like the guy is like, you can see like he's extremely powerful. Like he's a little guy, right? Like,
Mm.
but he's like really powerful in every aspect, but very calm, right? So like
I love that.
just
Yeah.
that genuine power, that you can
Isn't it?
feel it, and then like you don't want to mess around with a guy like this, but in the same time he's such a lovely being, right?
Oh, I'm looking forward to listening to that podcast.
Mm.
I'm
Yeah,
looking
no,
forward to it, Pascal.
I'll share it. I'll share it.
Thank
Sure.
you, Pascal.
No worries.
How's baby Kai?
Yeah, he's doing good. Like I shared a little bit, like in the beginning of the call, that we had some trouble, like to make him fall asleep last night,
Yes.
but the resolution was
Mm-hmm.
because like the nipple was clogged,
Okay.
so he couldn't drink,
Right.
and it took us a little bit of time to realize that. So
Are we
we just
talking your wife's breast or bottle? What are we talking about now?
no, the bottle,
Yeah. Oh,
it's like
yeah. That. Okay.
yeah,
Oh, yes, yes.
yeah. So
Because what
we do
happened to
both.
me? Yeah. Yeah. Sorry. Carry on.
Yeah, no, you go ahead.
No, what happened to me, if you don't mind me sharing, I had breast fever. So what that means is I had too much, and it gave me too much. I don't know what it was, but it was too much, and that's where I had to, bottle press. I had to do it with the bottle, put it in the bottles because, yeah, it was. I'm
Yeah,
just
that's
saying.
a beautiful thing to have,
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say is that I had to pump it.
Yeah, pump it. Yeah.
In a bottle because it was too much in a sense. It was
Yeah, it's squirting
I was just
everywhere.
thinking that because that also he couldn't he latched on, but then he couldn't latch on, and he was latching, but then it was like, whoa, nothing's happening.
Oh, okay.
Then I
Yeah.
had to pump it, and then it became that he could latch. And then from there, I took it, and then I let him do the bottle from there onwards because it was just, Then I just put it in the bottle, and then I gave it to him.
Yeah,
You know
my
what I
wife
mean?
had my wife had a hard time to latch as well, and then like the midwife, like she gave her the analogy of a car. She said like,
Mhm.
your hand is the steering wheel, and then like your hand is also like the gas pedal.
Wow.
And then you want like steer it, and then like because like when I saw it at the hospital, like how they do it, I was like, that's a little bit much, you know what I mean? Like I thought you had to be kind of gentle, but like they just go like right to the breast, right? I was just like, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Like now it doesn't have to be like hard or anything, but like in the beginning, like for him to like understand, this is latching, this is a good latch, right? So but then now he just does it on his own, right? So
Oh yeah.
so but yeah, so
Learning.
yeah, for sure, is learning a lot, and I'm learning a lot.
Yeah. I remember when Charles took his first solid food. Oh my God, I celebrated. So
Oh yeah.
excited. I was in Bali. I took him to Bali on a yoga retreat with me. And he was one, like he was coming to one, and he was sitting down at the breakfast table, and he took his solid, like he took a piece of bread and he took it in his mouth and started eating. I went, what? He's happy. I was so happy. I was celebrating with him because, yeah, I took pictures. I have these pictures even today, and I showed him the other day, you know, because I said to him, like, when he grows, you know, when he grows, you always think about food, because I'm a food person, right? So it's like, I was like baking, I was cooking, I was like, he's not eating, he's not there, and I'm giving him all these foods, and like so a couple of my friends said, don't worry, Nikki, he's gonna have just a fine appetite when the time comes. Boy, I can't stop feeding this boy now. It's like he cleans my fridge out. I've just put food in and it's gone. Like it literally, and he comes to me last night at like 10:30 at night. He comes 10:30 at night. What do you do? What? He says, Mom, I'm hungry. I said, you kidding me? Are you kidding me? He said, yeah, I'm hungry. I have to go to bed. It's like 11 o'clock. He wants food. And I thought, there you go. So you know what? This is where it doesn't matter how it comes about. In the end of the day, it just comes into a whole knowing the party. When you think, oh, is he going to sit on the parties when he pots? And I promise you it happens. And it's all this necessary pressure because people go, oh, is he doing this? Is he doing that? And it just happens naturally. So I think it's a great experience just to experience it, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, eventually they just do it on their own, eh? It's kind of
they really do.
way.
Like in potty training and all that, you think, oh my God, is he gonna? And it happens. It just happens. It happens.
Mm-hmm.
And when it happens, that's when you go, yeah, celebrate.
Now you celebrate, yeah.
You know, and it's so cute because he'll even say to me, hey, mommy, you know, pee.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Oh, it's beautiful. I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy you get to experience this because to me, I've always wanted to be a mother, and I adore and love my son. It's just the most amazing experience, and so grateful, you know, for the moments that I have with him. And you know, he's growing now. He's going to teenager, as I told you, and he goes through these phases. And I thought it was only girls, but boys, my God, do they go through stages? Wow, my God. But it's okay because it's like, you know, 1 minute he's like going off, and then the second he's coming and giving me a hug and a kiss. I go, okay. Okay. The other day, 2-3 days ago, after his match, I don't know why he was feeling so victory because he won his match, so he must have been feeling really, really good. He says, Mom, but I think he was showing off with his friend, you know, because I took his friend home with us, and he says, what do you think about me having a girlfriend? I went, mm-hmm. Oh, here we go. What do you think? I said, listen, focus on your high school. You're going to high school now. Focus on your homework.
We're going to focus together.
Oh my God. No girls going to his room. He tried that with me. He tried that. He said, Mom, I've got a few friends coming over. I said, who are they? He said, so and so and so. And then there's 2 other girl names. I said, no, not happening. Not happening. Sorry. No closed doors behind my house. Not happening. Sorry.
No cowboy hat on the door.
No. But he's got his head on his shoulders. He better have his head on his shoulders, because then I will hit it off him. But he knows. No, I'm only joking. He knows. He's very responsible. He's very responsible. But it is fun, yeah. It's a lot of fun. It is fun. So much fun. It's a real blessing. And don't you think when you see Kai there's moments when you look at him, you go, oh my God, I created this.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Like let's just get there. Like I created this for my seed. It's a beautiful thing. A beautiful thing. Seed of life. A seed, it's literally a little seed of life that you get to witness
Yeah.
your life and learning why you living it with him. I think it's a gift. I really choose this for everybody, that I love sharing my life with people. That actually God feeds me to allow me to grow my full potential. Because I never had that. I never had the encouragement. I never had the anything of, praise. I was just told what to be, how to do, how to act, what to say, what not to say. It was like programmed. And to be around people as yourselves gives me so much hope for women around the world, that they can actually know they have a voice.
Oh, and I would say like my wife has a bigger voice than myself.
I know, I believe you, because I don't know, but I just believe you. I believe you.
Because I let her, yeah, right? I allow her to speak or to express herself, right? So
Yeah,
I just think it's natural, right?
Yeah, it's like when Carl cries, it's not something that, you have to fix, And when somebody cries or expresses themselves, it's like this automatic fix mode. You've got to fix it. It's got to be like this. It's got to be like that. And when you get into the experience of somebody just allowing to complain, for example, it's not to tell them they're complaining, but they're going to actually acknowledge later on, hey, you know what? I was complaining a lot, right? And you go, yeah, you were. But it's not like you're going to have to tell them, because when you get to see yourself in that position, where I used to also think, I'm talking too much, like Joe was saying, you talk, you realize, oh, later on, go, oh, I used to talk a lot, right? Go, yeah. But it's that growth of allowing to say, wow, isn't that interesting that I had the experience and the space to expand, and then that person was mature enough, capable to hold me. That's, to me, that's masculine. That's strength. I'm very inspired by that. Very inspired by that. Very powerful. Wow, it's just, to me, there's no more threats. I'm not threatened anymore. It's just a beautiful experience. I like it. So thank you. I'm complete. I have to head out, but this was great. Once again, it's just foundational basics to just keep going. Just keep going and flourishing and growing together. I think it's just beautiful. I see us as a garden, watering and planting, and be able to help each other. I think it's such a beautiful thing to experience, especially in my time in my life, that I could be here and witness this, I really honor that. I really honor that. And I honor everybody. So thank you.
Thank you. One day at a time, one foot in front of the other.
I'm telling you, right?
Every day is different.
Every day is different. Yeah. Very grateful.
But we still create something new from nothing.
Oh, there's it. Oh, there's it. something new. Yeah. From nothing. Right? Wow. Wow. No, that's it. That's wisdom. That's wisdom. Thank you. Bye for
Yeah, thank you
now.
guys. Bye all.
Okay, bye
Have a good one.
guys.
Bye.